Good morning, 8th graders. So this is just a quick little how-to for your energy transfer doodle notes. So hopefully you would have already completed this during the whole group lesson. But you'll notice that in this packet there are 2 pages. You have this one that's talking about conduction, convection, and radiation, and then this one where we start talking about unequal heating. Tips and tricks, things you're going to have to know. So, very first thing, one, you need to interact with the vocab. Okay, so you need to interact with the vocabulary. Most of the vocabulary is going to be in these large boxes. So, I'm really only going to focus in on this page. You will have to do a majority of this by yourself, but let's go through this. So our first vocabulary term is radiation. So however you want to identify that this is a vocabulary term, do so. Okay, so we have radiation, then we have convection. This is just what I'm doing. If you want to color over it or highlight those words, it's whatever works best for you. And then conduction. Okay. Those are the 3 main vocab terms from this page. You're going to be introduced to some other little words that are probably important, but not necessarily the key point. So, radiation. Now, radiation is heat moving between objects that are not touching. So, I don't need to highlight this whole thing. I just need to highlight the things that I need to help me understand what it's trying to say. So, heat between objects not touching. Okay, that's all I don't need. I don't need those other 3 words because let's face it, memorizing key vocabulary isn't about memorizing the exact definition, it's just getting the point. Okay, convection. Heat is circulated through fluids like air or water. So convection is heat circulating through fluids. Okay, if you need air and water, go for it. Okay, I know what fluids means, but I'm the teacher. Okay, and then finally conduction. Heat moves through an object from direct contact or touch. So heat moves from direct contact. Okay, so that is our first thing. We've interacted with our vocabulary. Now, our second step is going to be to answer questions. Okay. So we need to answer the next questions. So I'm going to point out some of the questions that you need to for sure hit. So doodle and describe. Okay, I'm going to put just a little asterisk. Doodle and describe, what it's asking you to doodle and describe is radiation. Okay, so typically when it's right next to it, that's what it's asking you to do. So if you need to draw an arrow or whatever, okay, doodle and describe what radiation is. Okay, you need to fill this in. So heat always moves from blank to blank regions. Okay. And then down here, now I don't know why I didn't copy very well, but essentially what it's asking you to do is add the correct label to the first 4 pictures, then draw and label 2 more examples. So this is what it's asking you to do. So if we were to look up here, now let's see if I can get it in a little bit better for you. Not that it makes it super duper easy to read, but walking on hot sand. Ouch. So if you are walking along hot sand on the beach, what type of energy transfer are you working with? Well, you are working with conduction because it's heat moving through an object from direct contact. It's you touching the sand. So then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to write conduction. Okay, this one is touching a hot coffee I can't even pause for a second. Oh, mug. What a weird way to say that. So, touching a hot coffee mug. Okay? This is the sun warms the earth. And this is currents in Earth's mantle. Okay? So, label these 3. And then you need to come up with 2 more examples. So, it can be however you view radiation, convection, or conduction. Okay? Come up with 2 more examples yourself. Okay? Now, let's back it up a little bit. So, you have, there we go. Holy Hannah. Okay, so that final step. So, number 3, I'm going to just write it over here. You need to color important information. Okay? You need to color important information. The whole point of Doodle Notes is for my more creative friends to really have like an idea of like, how do I connect this information into my brain in a creative way? Okay, so I might, because we're talking about heat, I might go and color this little fire. Okay, now this is what I would do. Some people may be like, oh, well, I don't need to color the logs. And you're right, you don't need to color the logs, but maybe you for sure need to color the fire. Okay, I don't care. I'm not judging your coloring abilities, but I am looking for interaction. Okay, so then I'm gonna go and I'm going to start. Okay, however you depict fire, you do you. Okay, but I'm gonna make sure that I am interacting with my notes because it is important. This is a style of notes for my friends who just paper pencil nonsense is not their game. Totally fine. Okay, then maybe I'll come down here. Well, because this is supposed to be like a burner, maybe I am doing that and it's a pot. So yeah, you do what you think is going to help you interact with the text to memorize what you are learning about. Okay? So that kind of pointed out those things to you on this end. Now on the back page, you do have some vocab terms, and then you do have some questions. So, first question, draw a shadow for the person in each box, showing how the sun's rays angle in shadow length at noon and at varying latitudes. Okay, so close to the poles, close to the equator. Okay, so I think that is it for the top portion. And then the bottom portion starts getting into climate questions. Okay, you need to answer these and you'll use the graph beside it to answer those questions. So those are the 4 questions on this side that need to be answered, but you need to interact with this page as well. I'm not going to for you, but here. So remember, you need to complete the doodle and describe, this question, and then these examples, and then keep interacting. Awesome. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask your teachers. We are here to help. Phenomenal. Thank you.